Hello my friends, welcome to my channel where I want to talk about, review, and make reactions to fight shonen manga and seinen to the style of Yabuko Sandrovich's Kengan Ashura and Kengan Omega. Today is a special day as I will react to and review Sandrovich's female-centered combat manga star, Strike It Rich. Tenma Nozomi, 27, is rapidly losing her enthusiasm for life after quitting public fighting and being fired from underground fighting. It's difficult to be at the bottom with nowhere to go, which is where she and her two buddies are. Nozomi, on the other hand, has an idea that could solve all of their problems. They could create their own underground combat circuit for women and tap into an untapped market. As appealing as that sounds, her insistence on including the unknown Hongu Hina may end up costing her more than she bargained for. That is for us to get introduced. Now let's do it. Chapter 0. Right away we are within the same environment as Kengan style, just like in Ashura at the beginning, on an underground fighting organization called Valkyria. We're introduced to a fighter called Taoju Ran, the petrifying leopardness. She was the former Japanese super featherweight champion, now fallen from grace. She lost her license due to dealing severe injuries to her last opponent. For a quick lore update now, we can see Tenma Nozomi talking on the phone. She is the owner of Valkyria, the underground fighting organization for women in which we are now. Now for the first fight, we are presented with the champion entering the arena. It is Hongu Hina, the original Valkyria champion. She has that young, happy-go-lucky, typical anime girl demeanor, facing off against the huge fallen from grace boxing champion. We hear the referee for the rules, so no timer, no rules, just like a Kengan match. Ran is now fighting in classic boxing style, but what we see is that the champ, Hina, is super fast, as she is showboating and evading all strikes easily. Hina dodges a jab and counters with an overhand right, and the former champ is out clean. Great fight for the first issue as an introduction. It's funny how Nozomi tells Ran after the fight that she won't be winning any more money if she wins so easily, as she struggles to find monster fighters for her. And that's how it ends, Chapter 0. My reaction to this is that Sandrovich obviously made it quite clear in the first panel of Strike It Rich that there are certain similarities with Kengan, as it is underground and has no rules. But that it is different as it is not an ancient Japanese merchant method to resolve business disputes with fighters representing companies. This is something created by one person, Nozomi Tenma, in order to get rich. Now my friends, let's continue with Chapter 1, which was released in two separate parts. In the last chapter, number 0, we ended up with Tenma Nozomi remembering how Hina and her crossed paths in the first place. We're now in the flashback, and Nozomi is fighting in another undead fighting organization with onlookers screaming everywhere as Tenma fights another female fighter on the ground and makes her tap out. This is pretty funny because both are getting fired because the owner of the underground fighting organization, Underdog, tells her that her fights are too boring because they are too long. As the guy tells her, the fights are not brutal, so they are boring. So she's now unemployed, and I'm right there with you, sister. I just got fired from Toyo Electric Security. We're now presented with two of Nozomi's friends she's drinking with in a bar, Iori and Mitani. One is a cop, and the other is a Yakuza mob boss. We're already at the Kengan level of people here. They're talking, catching up, and talking about the Farut when Nozomi tells them she joined a martial arts gym in high school with friends to slim down. Huge connection with How Many Kilograms of Dumbbell Can You Lift, a manga created by Sandrovich, and that 100% takes place within the Kengan universe. I'm just saying this is going great. Anyway, as the three longtime friends are talking, Nozomi tells them that her pro career was ended because she had a detached retina, which was found only when she was about to get picked up by a legit fighting organization. As they leave the bar, a huge street fight emerges, with almost all girls fighting. Well, okay. So Nozomi, as she wakes up after the night of drinking and getting fired, comes to the realization that after watching an all-female street fight and having a friend who is a Yakuza mob boss and another friend who is a dirty cop, she can set up her underground street fight ring. The plan is this: settle street beefs without the cops getting involved. Simple, right? We're now watching a brutal fist fight between the women who were fighting on the street the night before, as Nozomi offered this chance to them, in front of spectators, with no rules and no phones for people watching, keeping it low-key Kengan style. As the three friends talk after the first event they just had, Nozomi tells them that it's just not going to work with random street people, because nobody is going to care. That's true in fighting, and in most things too. Iori tells them as she realizes what to do. Now we see the three of them as they go to an all-girls high school, and they see Hina. Iori tells them that Hina is known as the deadliest schoolgirl in the country and once was in a plot to overthrow the government. It turns out the plot was made by the terrorist group known as the Army of God. We were introduced to this faction during Kengan, and they were absolutely destroyed by Hanafusa, the absolute medical Chad. So Hina was the adopted daughter of the Army of God's leader. That's where she received training. Wait, what? It turned out that Hina radicalized the leader of the terrorist group into actual terror. Okay, so that's the end of Chapter 1. Both parts ending with Nozomi challenging Hina out of school. It was good. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying it. It's not a rehash or copy of Kengan at all. It's something that for sure has similarities, but it feels entirely different. In the same Kengan universe, I enjoyed it a lot. The characters are very down to earth, but in the Kengan universe with fighting in mind, good action, and a plot that continues to build on the universe, I can't wait to see where this goes. Tell me in the comments what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See ya.